Hi, it's the 7th month and in Singapore it's the Hungry Ghost Festival, and when I'm scrolling through YouTube I see a lot of people sharing their encounters with the spirits and sharing horror stories. So here's my take on my experience and people around me. To get into the mood, I'm gonna turn on this screen. As you can see, it's a green screen, so when I off the light I have this LED light in red. I'm wearing red too to get into the mood as well.
Okay, now I'm scared. So how should I start? Personally, I can't see ghosts, but I heard enough stories to be scared, and I've encountered a few times. Not really scary, but it's still an experience. I forgot to plug in my earphone and I just plug in so I can sound much better, right? Okay, I'm just gonna hold it like that because I feel this is like the best audio that I can get. Because if I were to put it here, it's gonna be too soft. And if I were to put it here, I think you can hear some muffling sound. Okay, the first story was like 7 years ago. My mother's friend had a dog that was up for adoption, and that was because my mother's friend's father was too old to take care and hence have to be given up to somebody else to take care. So me being a teenager was so thrilled, and I begged my mother to let me adopt. She said yes. So we went to the house, we took the dog and brought back home. Everything was fine until at night, I think around 10 p.m, close to 11. Me and my sister, we were watching TV, so in the living room. So we were sitting on the sofa, in front of us was the TV, and had the dog beside us. It was so clingy, like once we were out of his sight, it will bark, and it's just a very clingy dog, very cute. So while watching the show, anyway, the light was off, like it's like this sort of environment, just that it's not this red. And suddenly, out of nowhere, the dog rushed to the kitchen. We put a water bowl and newspaper for him to poo-poo or pee. I thought it went there to drink water or take a dump. And it took some time. That was when I thought I should go check on him to see what he's up to. When I was about to stand up, the dog rushed out and just stood there. This is like the door to the kitchen. So the dog rushed in, and then when I was about to go to see what he's up to, he came out and stood there and just stared at the kitchen. That was when I looked up where he was standing, and I saw this black shadow. I don't know if it's a figure, but it was so dark, right? I just see this black thing, which I see it as a shadow, going through the wall. So opposite the kitchen is this wall to a room, and the shadow was above, like floating into the wall and disappear. And then I froze and started shivering because it's my first time seeing so up close. I was texting my friend about it, and until my father came back, and that's it. Like nothing happened to me. Yeah. So the second story, it's not so scary, but it's also a shadow. It happened more than 10 years ago, and I was a kid still. We were playing in the living room with my cousins, and for some reason, me and another cousin of mine, we both happened to look inside the master bedroom, and we saw this white shadow just flew past. The white shadow was emerging to the wall. Yeah, and that was it. And we both looked at each other and like, what was that? That's it for this story. After this day, we still remember, like we mentioned it before, and me and him just shook it off like we don't know what was that. Still clueless up to this day. Any one of you watching this, if you know what this black and white shadow was, can leave a comment and let me know. Or if you also have such encounter, share with me. I would love to know. Next story. So this happened a few years ago. I would say it's 5 years ago. I was still schooling and I was doing a project with my friend. He has this thing called the third eye, so he can see ghosts. He can feel them, he can see. He told me a lot of his stories. It was very scary. So it was daylight, okay? It was in the afternoon. He came over to my place, which is right here, this building. We did our project at a void deck. There is this table and stool where we were at. While doing halfway, he said he's thirsty and said, should we change place, like closer to my house? And I said, yeah, sure. So we changed place and continued there while I went up to my house to bring some water for him. That's that. And like a few days passed. When we were catching up, I asked him to share more of his, ghost stories. And he said, I have one that's, you were there when it happened. And I was like,
What? Tell me.
he said the reason why he asked to change a place because there was a female ghost sitting beside me, which is beside him. Like I was sitting a stool away from him, so in between us there's this stool. I'm getting scared. Okay. So he said it was drenched in blood, and he asked me whether anybody jumped down the building to commit suicide before. And I said,
Yes, I remember hearing somebody mentioning that before.
I think it was in the newspaper or what, I can't remember, but I remember somebody jumped off the building before, like at that block. And he said it's just this girl asking him for help, because I heard if you were to commit suicide, so if you were to jump off the building every day you have to go through that. That was what I know. Yeah, so when he said that, I believed him because there was somebody who jumped off before and it was a lady. Me at the time, I felt nothing. Like I'm that oblivious, which is a good thing, I think. Yeah. Before I end this video, I want to share this as well. So I had a friend of mine. She got pregnant and it was already 3 months old in the womb, and she planned to go for abortion. So she did, and I think a year later I heard from her that she said she went to a fortune teller, and that person said that it's following her and it's quite upset. I believe in that because, well, it's a soul, right, that wished to be your child and you killed it. I think it's only natural for it. Oh my god. Okay, so anyway, behind this camera, it's a window, okay? It's a corridor where people can walk past. And somebody walked past, and I got a shock. Okay, yeah. Do you believe in such thing? Like, would you be paranoid if you were to get abortion? I think it's so cool, like, this thing, ghost. Like, if you die, will you be a ghost? Will you be a good ghost or bad ghost? So in my case, I could see just shadows, right? Black and white. That's all. Aside from seeing, I think I can also hear, but the chances are slim, because there's this one incident where I was in Thailand. I said it was the last story, but I remembered this story, so allow me to share. So I was in Thailand, and this hotel was known to be haunted, and I filmed myself with my friend. We were at the bathtub, so I was just recording us chatting, showering with clothes on, not that kinky. So when I played back a day after in the hotel room, because I was bored, I heard a man's voice, and apparently I heard 2 syllables. My friend heard 3 syllables. A lot of people who I showed the video to, they said they heard 3 syllables, but what I heard was
hello.
yeah, it sounded like that. Hello. It was a very Thai-ish slang, and I believe it's a Thai man. So I got peeped at by a ghost. Okay, I hate hotels bathroom. I can't be alone. Can't be alone in hotel. Me and my boyfriend, we are very different, but one thing is similar is we can't stand being in hotel alone. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed my ghost stories, and subscribe to me. We can be friends. And like this video, whatever. Bye.